Uh, Welcome to the Bro Goes On podcast. I'm your host with the most, Zach. Um, Thank you so much for joining us, man. I am so happy, so blessed to be here with my two brothers. To my left, my regular, my J1, my brother, Mr. Dominic and Meltz, my co-host. Thank you so much for joining us again. Welcome back.
um, it's been a while.
It has been.
It feels like I've been neglecting you and our fellow followers. But I am here, and there is still a special feature that's still coming up. I'm still trying to get the
Yes,
few volunteers
we've got plans.
put on the spot to come through. But thank you very much. I really appreciate you guys as well. Thank you very much for the support, and we'll leave it over to you today.
Thank you, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, I think a main introduction also needed. My brother here to the right was Mr. Mshlom, Meli, Amantla, Gonzala. Welcome.
Thank you.
Your
Thank
first
you,
time on the podcast.
First time on the podcast. It's an honor. It's a privilege. Thank you for the invite. And I look forward to the conversation with my brothers.
Thank you, man. Thank you. Yes, guys. I feel that this journey, this series that I've targeted is very important. The focus on mental health, basically men's health in general. So the month of October hails as mental health awareness month. Going from October into November, those of you men who are familiar with the Movember movement, where you grow your mustache, you grow your beard during the month of. He's got nothing. He's got nothing. Growing your beard during the month of November, raising awareness for cancer in men, prostate cancer, among other things, is something that I'm very behind that. I post it all the time. I've even contributed to the movement as well. Something very close to my heart. And this I call it the challenge. This challenge of mental health, the struggles that we face as men each and every day. The unknown factor, the things that we don't talk about, the things that we don't say, the things that we feel we can do absolutely anything and everything on our own is a myth. As I've learned on my journey of masculinity, I'm still learning, I'm still growing, I'm still healing. That is exactly what I just mentioned. That is a myth. So the journey of masculinity for me tells me that I don't have to do it alone. And this is why I've invited the two of you, because I believe that you guys can contribute. You guys have opinions that can hopefully reach out to that one person. And that was my prayer this morning, is that one person whom we may reach is going to be affected by us in a positive way and will speak out for himself. Dom, before I get to me, what is your opinion? Do you have any perspective to give on mental health? Have you had any experience in that space?
Uh, oh, yeah. For me, mental health is like a deep topic in terms of its buried. Um, I don't know how other men. I'm just going to speak from my perspective and perhaps maybe also from the perspective of how I grew up. And I didn't grow up in a space where you speak about how you feel as a man. I didn't grow up in a space of being taught of prostate cancer, being taught of you can get depressed as a man, being taught of struggles that a man can experience. So for me, it is deep as in buried. So it's almost like there's an ignorant side to me. Mm-hmm. It's like I was thinking this year. Oh, Tom, you've never gone for prostate cancer test. Why not? You know, and I probably speak for a lot of men out there. And it is for me, just as I'm growing up, um, you don't. I never grew up around friends. I mean, even between us friends, we never just talked about it generally, and we don't speak about when it comes to your private parts. It's almost like it's just that your private parts, and it shouldn't really be a situation whereby you feel shy or kind of feel, you know what, I shouldn't talk about that. You know. So for me, from my side, when I think about mental health, and I always see you talking about it, and every year it comes through, and October comes through, and Zach is like,
and the mow is growing.
Yeah. That's the thing. The thing is, like, I'm saying to myself, it is that time of the year. The main important topic is mental health, but I'm thinking, man, I got no beard to grow. You know what I mean? Talking about the fact that the actual reason to the month is for you as a man to actually take care of yourself.
Yeah.
I was actually we were actually speaking earlier about your brother, and you were mentioning about the runs that he does. And I was thinking to myself, that's why I asked you earlier on about, is there anything else that he does during that day, like any activities or something like that? Because I think for a brother to do a run for health awareness is very important, because these conversations are important.
Yeah.
You know, so that we can start shutting out the fact that this must just be a secret. It's like you say with Tamar. Must be a secret. But yeah, man. So for me, I would say I'm still on the ignorant side, and I need to grow up.
as we all do.
Yeah.
That's if I can just add, my brother, it's fear.
Yeah.
You're talking about going for a test. Even if I get the flu, you know, I don't like taking medication. My wife literally forces me because you need to get better.
Yeah.
You know, I don't take tablets. I don't swallow. I don't like swallowing tablets. You know what I mean? But that tablet can help me boost my immune system. Can make me feel better. Even something as small as that, you know, having that fear, not wanting to take medication because, hey, within a week I'll be fine. You know, I don't need this medication. My brother Meltz, your opinion on mental health? Have you had any experiences, personal experiences, or you know of somebody? You don't have to even mention it.
Of course. No, thank you so much. I think taking it back, for me, mental health would be the state of your mental health, basically. Similarly to how your immune system works. You need to take care of your immune system for it to be able to fight off the diseases, the illnesses that attack your body. Similarly to your mental health, you need to kind of have habits that allow us to be in a positive space. A lot of the time, I think I remember growing up, there was a quote in Afrikaans where it says, "As jy met die veel goed sit, van die varke jou eet." So I think a lot of the times what we ingest, what we watch, what we expose ourselves to could have an impact on our mental health. So I think having habits that aid your positive mental health, those are things that are important. Similarly to eating healthy, similarly to exercising, taking care of yourself is important. My brother mentioned that we didn't grow up in an era where we spoke about a lot of things. A lot of things were just taboo. And as a man, probably from the role models and the people that we had in our lives, brothers, fathers, uncles, the male figures that we had in our lives weren't people that were open about how they were feeling, about what was bothering them. So I think we mirrored a lot of those behaviors as we grew up. Like, a man shouldn't be crying. A man shouldn't complain. In isiXhosa kuthiwa, they say indoda ayikhali. A man doesn't cry. You just have to drink a cup of concrete and go do what you need to do. But that does have a toll on you as a man. How are you able to function? How are you able to pour into someone else's cup if your cup is empty? So I think first and foremost, for one's mental health to be at a level where you can operate properly, there's a lot of things we need to unlearn as men. There's a lot of things we've picked up. There's a lot of things that we have as habits that prohibit us to begin with, to have the conversation.
This is exactly why I'm looking at it from my perspective and saying I need to grow up, because there are things that are there, almost like you needed to grow up in this sense, in this way. But hey, who said that you always got to be tough? Who said that you always got to be to yourself in the corner? Just talk. I mean, I always talk to Zach, and I'm like, Zach and his wife, like, they inspire me, because when I look at them, it's almost like prior to his marriage, he was just still a gentle guy, but also to himself. And now he's got a wife, and it's almost like he's breaking parts of his life that was meant to be broken prior to him getting married, so that he can be the actual man that he's supposed to be.
100%.
You know, like, it comes to me, it's like, this is the argument that we had, and then, like I told him at his marriage, I was like, at his wedding, that I'm not only his best man, but I'm also his wife's best man. So I also want to hear her side of the story. And then she's like, yeah, but I just want him to talk to me. I just want him to say these things, you know. And for me, I'm not saying I need to get married in order to break that, but in order to grow up, I need to understand you need to take care of yourself much better. You need to speak about certain things much better. You don't need to drink a cup of concrete and then just carry on with life and cry. You know, and I think that's very important for men to understand that as a man, you don't need to be this rock hard cornerstone all the time. Which begs the question that I want to ask. Doesn't it mean that you should also allow, and I'm only talking context of marriage. I don't like to really refer to too much interest in being in a relationship, but I think once you're in a marriage, it kind of puts that foundation in. Doesn't mean that you should allow your wife to then be that cornerstone at times. Well, I suppose it will be a question to hear, but just generally, because
It's a tough one.
just before you answer, maybe just to give you some kind, because us as men, get married, you still the provider. Or let me say, before you get married, you're building yourself to be the provider. And then get married and you're the provider. You must hold everything together. But nowadays, fall in love. And love is something that you can't measure. And once you fall in love, then you speak about paycheck, and then you're like, hey, she's handing 17, I'm handing 2. But because she's gentle and she respects you as a man, she never overthrows you with little things like that. That's material things. But she wants you to understand that, hey, you are still human. How are you going to take care of you not breaking your head that I'm earning 17 figures? And you get what I'm trying to do. So I doesn't mean that men should also allow wife to be a cornerstone, to be that foundation.
Before that, I would like to jump in before the experience maybe shares with us.
Yeah.
I think a follow-up question. I'm going to answer that question with a bit of a question first before I jump in. I think if we are saying that we are the providers, we are the protectors, we are the ones who make sure that the household runs accordingly. I'm looking after everyone. Who's looking after me as the husband? So on that question, because should you allow your wife to be a cornerstone for you? My question would then be, if you are in a marriage, if not your wife, who then?
I've got a question on that. How do you, if you don't give your wife the opportunity to see your weaknesses, if you don't give her the opportunity to be that rock for you, where does that then come from? Because either you have, in my mind, there's no male figure in your life, so you don't know how to allow her in, right? And maybe there is a male figure in your life, but he hasn't taught you how to open up. And I think I speak from experience, because I've seen a lot of men who have father figures, male figures in their lives, but they don't necessarily talk about these things that we're talking about now. They still close off. They still, I can still do it on my own. If I can just share my story, my breaking point came when, about a year and a half ago, roughly. I kept everything in all the time. I thought I could do everything. I remember a touch rugby game that, or a touch rugby tournament that she has been invited to. I always said no. I wasn't ready. And this was 2021. There was still a bit of COVID involved. I said yes, I'll join the team. I could only play 4 out of the 8 or 9 games that they were available. We ended up winning a bronze medal, and my first time actually winning something, so moving away from full contact rugby to touch rugby. Then after the medal ceremony, because I can't really call it the ceremony, it's just, congratulations guys, thank you for the last 2 months that you guys have been playing. We'd like to award this bronze medals to this team today. I think I celebrated with the boys, had a beer or two. I walked back to the car, got into the car, and the first thing that I did, I said, Lord, I don't deserve this medal. As a man, I felt I didn't contribute enough to the team. I only played 4 games. These guys had played 8, 9, 10 games. And that was my point where I realized, but why am I so hard? Because as a man, you think there's levels to how much you can contribute. You have to contribute. I thought I wasn't going to be accepted because I only played that many, and here I'm walking away in the middle. When these guys they've been grinding for the last 8, 9 games. Here comes a new guy, still has to learn the rules and then play the game, and he comes away with it.
It's also the other thing with us men. A challenge with is that we always feel like we have to compete with other men.
But then again, we men, we like competition.
And that's the problem. That's the problem.
You put the challenge in front of us, depending on the challenge.
But that's a huge
and then
problem.
We will.
Do we think, is that something that we inherit, or is it based on society?
For me, I'm still blessed to have my dad in my life, right? My dad's very firm. My dad's, there's a right and there's a wrong, you know. If there's an in-between, that's gonna maybe lean more towards the right than the wrong. You know, but as firm and as staunch as he is in his beliefs, right is right, wrong is wrong. It's a very touchy thing also. It's a very touchy thing. But if you have a male figure in your life, I know for me, I going through my mental breakdown, leading up to about a year and a half ago, where I came home from work and I was going through a whole bunch of things. My emotions were high. At work, I was going through things. I was looking for validation. That's another thing. I was looking for validation. I was looking for things that I wasn't getting at all, right? And I kept everything to myself to the point where I come home, go to the room, sit next to the bed, and I just break. I broke. I started crying. You know that cry, like that deep, like
so hurt.
It hurt. And the wife sees me and she's like, "What's wrong?" And I can't do it. I can't do it. And my I can't do it anymore was I can't keep everything. And I broke. And here's where the rock comes in. That rock inside the two children, she pushed me to get help. She pushed me to go for therapy. She pushed me to go for counseling and put everything on the table with a perfect stranger. I don't know this guy from anywhere, but he gave me little techniques to work with. I'm still learning it. I still have those bad habits where I just don't talk. I don't even tell him everything. You know, I tell him 90% of whatever's going on. You know, the other 10% I keep to myself. Where does that 10% come?
Do you think it's probably because of how we've been operating?
Yeah,
that fear
of if I tell Dominic or if I tell you something, you will make fun of me. You're not gonna understand. You're gonna misunderstand. So what's the point of me actually sharing with you if you don't get me? You know what I mean?
That's the thing. I just want to also speak on the perspective of growing up with other father figures. Dad was around when I was 10 years old, something like that. And then practically, you grow up from 1 year to 10. You don't grasp a lot. You don't take in a lot about stuff. Start playing around with toys and cars and stuff. Probably just learning that that's a girl, that's the house, and you know. And I just want to get onto your question: is it something inherited, or is society influencing us as men? And
it's both.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Is that as maybe as being a man, you've got that in you somehow, right? But I grew up with females around me, a lot of females around me. And the only male was my grandfather. But we didn't talk much. Though it motivated me now and then, we didn't talk much as in anything serious and deep and stuff. So I had a lot of friends. And I think because of going back to maybe wanting to improve myself, competition, or whatever the case with society influence to be the character that I am, or might have actually molded the character that I am. Because, for instance, if we just had to go into astronomy and I'm looking at my star sign, I'm looking at Cancer, and I'm like, introvert. I'm like,
no.
True. No, that's the thing. True. But then I look at my friends and then I ask my friends, and my friends are like, that can't be, you know. But then you get times where you sit in your room and you're like, ish, my happy place kind of a situation kind of thing. But when you're out there, it's like, hey, this mask is come on. You know, I'm tough. I need to
protecting yourself.
100%.
I don't know if it's a protection.
That's definitely something that
it's protection and fear.
Because people have come to know you in a certain way, so you kind of want to protect that facade or that image that people have of you. We think that we have to project ourselves in a certain way versus your real self when you're by yourself and you're chilling with your thoughts. And sometimes you start thinking, how do I navigate this? And you're stuck with all those questions, and you ask yourself, like, who do I speak to about this? How are they going to perceive me? Are they going to judge me? Are they going to laugh at me? Are they going to see things my way? I think that also influences what we share and what we don't share.
Yeah. It's like 90 and 10% kind of situation.
100%.
Look, I just to take it back to the touch right again. He was there. 2023, we lost all of our games, everything, right? And this just had already moved overseas.
Yeah.
So he tasked us with taking care of the team, making sure the team still continues to play year after year.
They still do.
Yeah, they still. Tomorrow's another game. I keep in touch with the boys. 2022 got another bronze medal, second. But this time I took part in more games because the previous year I felt I wasn't doing it. So it forced me to,
participate,
to commit more. And this was Chester's final year of playing with the team. And we ended up, I don't want to say thrashing the other team, but we ended up winning another bronze medal.
Yeah.
And in that space, I wasn't hard on myself. I accepted the fact that I knew I wanted to win a medal as an individual, but I knew the team also had to do it.
Yeah.
Thus, also I had to contribute more time to the games, and I accepted that medal as that. 2023 lost all our matches. I took him. He joined me for about 3 or 4 games, the last 3 or 4 games, and then the final day, took my wife and my son with me. And we ended up playing out for a medal. I don't know how, but that's what the ref said. Okay, you guys going to play out for bronze medal against one of our bogey teams. Either we win them or they win us.
Yeah.
And these guys are, they're not old, but they're much older than us.
Yeah.
And we end up losing by a couple of points.
That broke
me because I based my achievement and my confidence on that medal. So I felt I wasn't good enough if I didn't win it.
Besides that, also that I'm entitled to receive another one.
Yeah.
And
we had the players to do it. It's just
there's that expectation that you create.
Yeah, let me get another one. In fact, not let me get another. Give me another one. Give me another one. And I think it's also boils down to Chester leaving and so on. And that happens to be the year that he left. Happens to be the year that you don't see that medal. And last year the team didn't play.
They played last year. They got a medal.
Was it the previous year? No.
2023 nothing. 2024 they got a bronze.
Well, yeah. But without you.
Without me, I wasn't able to.
And that was the other thing that also
also hit me because I found a lot of joy in it, and I could forget about whatever I was going through as soon as I get on. But yet in the back of my mind was, this thing is the thing that keeps me going back. But the ultimate goal is I want this thing.
Yeah. If he could get into rugby again, that would be happy place. But I want to ask you something. I love the calmness in how you portray yourself.
Thank you.
He's confident.
I really appreciate it. And, first question I've got for you: were you always this type of person? And then the other thing is, what goes through your mind when it comes to yourself as being a man? Whether it's towards your family members or towards people around you that you know.
Yeah. No, thank you, my brother. Appreciate it. Appreciate it so much. I think the composure hasn't always been there. Zach will share. I've always been loud. I'm an introverted extrovert, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Where I get my energy, where I kind of rejuvenate my energy is when I'm alone. I enjoy being by myself. I love people. Love people. But people can also get exhausting at times. So to answer your question, I haven't always been this calm as I seem. And there's probably a lot that's going in my mind all the time, even though I might be calm. If I can take it back maybe to growing up, I'm blessed to still have both my parents alive. And I grew up with both my parents. My dad was also very black and white, very strict growing up. My dad, principal and a preacher. So you can imagine that kind of teachings. It's right, it's
Get
wrong.
the whipping and the prayer after.
You see what I mean? So there's a lot of things I think, or I definitely know that I've been indoctrinated growing up. So over the years, I think I've learned through exposure, maybe through travel a little bit, that things are not always black and white. So I think the way I now approach life, when I meet people, I want to take things for what they are. I try not to have preconceived ideas or preconceived prejudice when I meet somebody. Speaking to somebody, I don't want to listen to answer. I want to hear what they are saying and actually digest it and make sense of it for myself. You know what I mean? And I think maybe just exposure to people has allowed me to understand people a little more as I'm trying to learn myself as well.
Not yet married?
No.
Planning on getting married?
Certainly. The Lord says he who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Bless it. And your take on what a man then should be prior to marriage is what basically like do you basically I'm asking you in terms of your own life, do you see yourself having to prepare yourself to be a man? I was mom was making a joke with myself and the lady, and the lady was like, mom was like, is Tom hitting you? And the lady's like, and then mom's like, I don't believe you because the type of man that he is will never lift his hand to any woman, you know. So just giving you some kind of context to my question. I just want to know, like, do you feel like there's some kind of way you should be as a man prior? I don't know if you got know that. Is there a woman there? We should be asking you.
Yeah. Of course.
Is there a woman?
There is.
Okay. And do you feel that you need to be at a certain place before you actually pop the question before you actually settle down?
It's a loaded question.
I was listening to something similar to what you said. But yes.
Yeah. I think growing up, we all obviously have ideas of how a man should be when we do decide to take that step. And in preparation for that, we've always wanted to have a partner. or let me speak for myself. I've always wanted to have a life partner. Growing up, I think also because I grew up in a two-parent household, that's the ideal that I've always seen. And I admire that, and I always want to aspire to be that. And because my dad is the man that he is, I always told myself, if ever I could be half the man that man is, I would have achieved very greatly in life. And to answer your question, I don't feel that I'm there yet. Partly maybe because of things that we've learned, what we've been exposed to, family life, society, that role of being the provider, being the protector, being able to do these things as a man definitely influences my thought processes in terms of when would be the right time, what do I need to have had acquired, emotionally, where do I need to be, what are the things that I need to unlearn, what do I need to learn to be ready for marriage.
I don't want to put you on the spot. Just one last question. Maybe you can just give me a rough idea. How long were you with the lady?
Are you going to edit this out? Okay. Quite a while.
Yeah, quite a while.
It's been quite a while.
What? This is what I wanted to ask. That question, Zach. Ooh. I don't need to take over your podcast.
I only have 7 years of experience in marriage.
That's fine. I just need your first 9 months. The day you popped the question, were you ready?
I was. I just didn't want to pop it in the way that I did. I had my own plan in the way I wanted to do it. You know, but
put it this way.
I was.
Were you ready mentally?
Mentally, I was ready. Because I had been I've been thinking about getting married since the age of 17. I did not know what I wanted to do after high school. I had no idea. I knew I wanted to do music, right? But I knew I wanted to be married. I knew I wanted to be a father. That's all I wanted.
Were you ready financially?
Brutally honest, financially, I was not in the best space at that time, but it seems like such a long time ago now. So it doesn't faze me. That question.
Did your unreadiness, or when you realized that you were ready financially, obviously, you were ready mentally, so you knew in your heart that hey, this needs to be done. But when you realized, probably came afterwards, that hang on, you're not ready financially. Obviously, probably everything happened already. You were married during this. Things are happening right now. I know you had kids before you got married as well.
Yeah, so it was it was fast paced. Everything happened, you know, very, very quick.
So I want to know if your realization of not being ready financially while you were married affected your way of thinking as a man.
Look, if I had to wait till I was financially ready, I probably would have gotten married a lot later. Because now I'm looking at getting settled, making sure there's a funeral policy, making sure there's a life policy, making sure all the policies are settled, medical aid. If I had to wait, then mind you, I married my first girlfriend, so there's a couple of missed years in between, but you know we saw each other again.
Yeah.
And but if I had to make sure that I was financially stable, I probably would have missed my.
So after, so the finances obviously didn't play much of a role in your actual decision of actually going forward in your marriage. But afterwards, yes. So afterwards, yes. What I'm trying to get to is, did it affect you as a man? Yeah. Afterwards, and I'm talking about like, how did you deal with getting over the fact that, hey, okay, I wasn't financially ready, but I know this is the woman that I need to be with. And so, how did you deal with the whole?
I did what most guys do, looking back. Like, what if? Okay. You know, what if I had invested there? What if I had done this? What if I had taken a different direction with my career, my job? That constant looking back was also fear based, you know, and the type of person that I married wouldn't allow me to do this all the time. So for me, it was very, she was sent to me. Yes, God put her on a path for a reason, and that is why when I reached my breaking point, you know, when I went through the bullying, when I went through all the emotions, the ups and downs, and things at work and so on, she saw me at my lowest moment. You see me low. I'm low right now. You might not know it. Maybe because I haven't shared it with you, right? But she has seen me at my lowest. And when I was at my lowest, she was one who picked me up. Obviously with prayer as well. She prayed for me. There was a time where I didn't pray, and she would motivate me. And through that motivation, I overcame a lot of things. And that is my hope for that man who's out there right now, who's struggling, doesn't know what, who doesn't have what I have, who doesn't have a brother to go to, who has absolutely nothing, who is being told that your validation is based on achievement, what you can winning a medal. You know, it's not. It's nice to have this thing. You know, it's nice to have two of it. Here's the other one. It's really nice because I achieved something I didn't achieve in my full 15 contact rugby. Then I moved to a different form of rugby, and yeah, I achieved. And the day that I did not achieve, it really hurt because I put in effort. So what about what do you tell that brother who's putting the effort and who just sees negative, just sees, because I've been there, I've experienced it. I'm going through therapy now. I'm changing my mindset. I have people around me who can tell me, who can uplift me, who can tell me when I'm wrong, who can give me different perspective as you know. And I would expect you to listen. And not everybody has that. It's a very valid point that you brought up, and also the question around the finance and that impact on one's mental health. Because society looks at a lot of men based on what you can provide. I think also culturally, it's very sad if, as a man, for example, one is unemployed. That is it's a big thing, and your value a lot of the times is based on what you can win, what you put in. Because you get told your value and your productivity is based on what you can provide. Yeah. And that kills a guy. Yeah. That takes a toll. So if you take away his job, he has nothing.
What I got told was from a previous relationship with a family member. It was like just trying to remember what he said in Zulu. But it was in the lines of, are you able to work? But it came off like the saying is almost like, dude, don't come and waste time. Can you go out to take care of the lady? No, it wasn't like, it was said like, but the way it was said was like, don't come and waste time.
Almost like you're making an excuse for the situation.
Yeah, you know, and it hit me hard that time. It was like, at that time I wasn't even working. And I was like, oh, how would it provide? You know?
And that takes a lot. That takes a lot of emotion.
They hit you. And what the craziest part is that when you don't have maybe the right support, I'm saying maybe, because also I did not express much at that time because of depression. You won't also understand how things can get better. It's like you saying that if it was not for your wife, you would still be looking back. And she doesn't want you to look back. She wants you to move forward. You know, and without that proper support and understanding other person, that's why you're wishing for a brother that's going through tough times. To have that other person, you will really struggle. And I know when I was in Josie, there were times where like I got upset out of no reason, you know. And the more I think about it now, as I am growing up, I realize that there's certain things that you, like you were saying, when you meet somebody, don't take everything that you see and make up your own assumptions about this person or whatever the case may be. And then as well, the other thing that I also don't do is that when people say something to me, depending on what you're saying, I don't want to take it to heart. Because when I do take it to heart, I always think about how's that supposed to feel.
100%.
Yeah, because it will definitely get to you. It's like I don't know how. What's the PG rating on our you can, but it's like let's say we're all single, right? And we're all ready to settle down. And at that moment that we are ready to settle down, we need women that are really perfect to be wives. And when I say perfect to be wives, they fulfill you mentally as well, and not just looking good woman, whatever the case may be. It's got nothing to do with looks at that time.
Even if she makes more than you.
Even if she makes more than you, she still respects you as a man. So we're single, we meet this perfect woman, we're ready to settle down. But then you realize that, hey, look, this woman has been around. She's been in and out of relationships, and one of those things that you also have to deal with is the fact that has happened in her life. How do you deal with something like that as a man? How do you go forward and say and commit and say, look at man, regardless, you know what, this thing between us is working, so why not just go forward? How do you deal with that as men? And I'm probably speaking in the sense of generalizing, maybe, the guys that experience that. I actually listened to a podcast by Convo. Convo podcast.
Yes.
It was just a snippet with his brother, and he was actually saying, women that have been around, you think that they won't end up happily ever after married to somebody. It was on that context. Those women actually do end up happily married and quite fine, and then the guy struggles because the guy needs to take care of himself. But what I'm trying to say is that you as men, how do you deal with something like that? And maybe we can't speak on that context because maybe we hadn't experienced that, but would you, most women that you meet have exes? Does it affect you as a guy to go forward, And what do you use as a coping mechanism or a mechanism that helps you out to move forward? Because imagine going to a sevens rugby game, right next to a sevens rugby game, that's sitting right next to you. Is the guy. You've been having fun with this guy the whole day.
Of course, yeah. I think there's two ways to look at it. Biblically, there's where Jesus said, was it Jezebel? There was a woman who was about to be stoned to death, and Jesus appeared at the scene and said that he who has no sin, let he be the first to cast the first stone, and nobody could cast the first stone. So I think the first perspective I would look at it is from there, because I don't think there's anybody with a perfect, clean slate of a past. So I would approach a situation like that not from a point of judgment, because I certainly wouldn't want to be judged. But then outside, to your point, you're sitting at a rugby game, next to your table is Broer, who has a past with your partner.
She don't say nothing.
And she says, don't say nothing. He's making orgies.
Hey.
I think there's a level of maturity that has to come with that. And the willingness to have a conversation with your partner. Because Anditi, the person that you're with is your partner. And
you've obviously identified certain things in that can complement you as a man. What I do is I allow my wife to I give her the space to talk about what it is, but she doesn't. But I make it fun because I'm the guy.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah. Forever.
That's right.
I'm the guy now. It's nobody else often. And I have to make this thing work. So if I don't, she leaves.
You're opening up the windows for the enemy to come in between the wall.
She leaves. So as a man navigating this space, the mental, the physical, all these things. That's really, really. It's tough. It's tough. So yeah.
It sounds to me like it's almost like
I was going to ask that any closing thoughts. I was going to ask. Enjoying this conversation. Deep conversation.
I just want to maybe the last thing that I want to just put out there. I wanted to say. It sounds to me like what we shouldn't be doing as men is trying to fight a mental thought physically and actually fight it spiritually.
Yeah. Spiritually first.
Yeah, somehow. It could be that finding that spiritual side is from your faith, but also perhaps through an angel that was sent to you. Looking at it from the perspective of your partner, might not even be just your partner. It might just be your pastor or somebody that you know that okay, this person can actually uplift you and actually rekindle your spirit in such a sense that you don't try and fight what's happening inside your head physically. That's what I'm gaining. I think that is very important because we as men always try to be masculine and want to fight.
Have the right answers for everything.
Yes, but not sometimes, most of the times, you don't. And the choices that you make, most of the times, I skewed. It's like what lady friend was telling me the other day is that my baby is a carpenter, mechanic, electrician. She's full. What the but sometimes we should then just be also trying to stick to just one thing. You can't be Superman.
You can't be Superman. No man.
I loved my life like that because I found peace by watching a specific series, Smallville. That was my hideaway from everything that was going through. Yeah, it was. I mean, everything that I experienced, I would skip rugby practice to just to come and sit and watch Clark Kent on Mnet back in the day. But there was the thing that I hid away from the world because I didn't know who I could share with. I didn't know who to talk to because the fear of telling somebody that I'm struggling with something, it scared me because who do you talk to? Who do you trust? Yeah, it's. I think I've grown a lot. Still a lot of growth. Still a lot of healing to do, and but you can only do it with the help of God. And if you surround yourself with a group of men specifically that can pour positively into you. Any last thoughts, my brother?
I'm loving this conversation. Firstly, I think I would like to have an invite very frequently.
If there's a part two, I'll put up a poll. If you want a part two, we can have these two guys back here.
100%. I think it's to the point that the brothers have shared. It's very important to surround yourself with that positivity as a man. We are fighting and we are going through so much as men. And I think there's a lot of struggles that are different and a lot of struggles that are similar between men that we can learn from, actually share and relate if one is willing to listen to your fellow brother and actually have the willingness to share as a man himself. So I think my final thoughts would be, I've got so many thoughts.
There's a problem with us, man.
You know?
That's the issue with us, man.
My final thought would be, let's do the positive habits where possible. Find a positive habit, whether it's journaling to get your thoughts out, whether it's maybe an exercise, maybe to get your mind off things, because it's so easy to fall into bad habits that actually perpetuate the negativity in our life. So I think my final thought would be, let's try and be cognizant of when we are heading to a dark place, to try and do something positive with that, so that the outcome at the end of the day is not detrimental to oneself.
And also to add to what you're saying, that we don't lose that brother. Because I know of a few people who have said, I've had enough. And, to wake up in the morning and see a WhatsApp, a text, or even a call, say, hey, listen, this guy's gone. It was too much for you. That's scary.
And that just shows how important it is just to check up on a brother. That 1 minute call, that text can really make a difference in one's life. To know that there's somebody who cares about me.
Mm.
Makes a big difference.
Mr. Ngozi?
No, man, I've said my final thoughts. Just want to thank you, gentlemen, for this opportunity to actually share. Streamline into um, motivate you to go to the doctor and say, hey, go to check yourself out.
Yeah, let's do this.
But yeah, I don't have anything else to say, but thank you very much, James, for inviting me. I really appreciate it. For those watching, thank you very much for watching, and appreciate it very much. Don't forget to hit the like button, haven't subscribed, subscribe as well. Really appreciate it. Love the numbers.
Please.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Brother Meltz, thank you so much, man. It's been it's been nice seeing you.
Likewise.
It's been a while.
Likewise.
Last time I saw him,
It's been years.
I can't even remember.
I can explain.
Over 15 years.
I can explain.
But yeah, the next episode he'll be explaining exactly why.
Put the brother on the spot. Why? Yeah, guys. Man, thank you so much for tuning in. This has been a wonderful episode. My brother, message to you, if you are watching, even if this message just one person. You are not alone.
Yeah.
You are enough. And if you are at that point, that breaking point, just know that there is help out there for you. There is a safe space for you to go and to share. And thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. Thank you so much for Mr. Ngozi.
Much love, brother.
Amandla. Thank you, man.
Much love.
Brothers,
My brother.
thank you so much, my brother. It was a
Appreciate
pleasure.
Zala. Thank you so much.